Hello, my beautiful people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's Angela again from Angela's Easy Cooking. Today I'm going to be cooking a pot of banga soup. Stay tuned and join me. And these are what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using canned banga. I'm going to be using 2 cans. You can see it's difficult here in Holland to get our normal banga from Nigeria. So I'm going to be using beef as well. And I'm going to be using stockfish, shaki, and pomo for this recipe. That's cow skin and the cow's stomach. And I'm going to be using smoked dry fish. I'm going to be using a little bit of tomato, onion, and hot pepper for this recipe. Tomato is completely optional. You don't have to add tomato to your soup if you don't like it. I'm going to be using dry chili pepper as well. And I'm going to be using ungrounded crayfish. And I'm going to be using grounded crayfish also. And I'm going to be using some periwinkle. So difficult to get it here. And I'm going to be using salt for taste. And I'm going to be using garlic, ginger, and onions to cook my meat. And I'm going to be using native Maggi as well. It's not all soup I add native Maggi to because my children don't like the taste. So the soup my children are eating, I don't add native Maggi to it. So now let's start cooking. And this is the meat, the beef I'm going to be using. You can see I already added my sliced onion to it and a little bit of salt, and also added the garlic and ginger, a little bit of garlic and ginger, and I added my 1 stock cube as well. So I'm going to cook that as that is busy, and I'm going to be cooking my banga in a separate pot. So that's the banga. I'm going to cook it for 10 minutes thereabout. And now my meat is cooking really good. I'm going to add the momo and the shaki to it to cook it together. The beef is a bit tougher, so that's why I cook the beef a little bit first. So you can see I still didn't add water to it. I don't add cooking my meat with water, especially when it's beef or chicken. So as that is busy, now you can see my banga. I changed the pot. I turned it into a bigger pot because my the other pot is going to be too small for this soup. You can see there's oil on top of the banga now. My banga is cooked. You can see it. So when you see oil on top of your banga like this, you know that your banga is cooked. So now I'm going to add the blended tomato and pepper and onion to it. I just said the tomato is optional in soup, especially in Nigeria recipe soup. You don't have to add it if you don't like it. So now I'm adding my dry pepper to it. Now I add the native Maggi, a little bit of native Maggi, and add salt. Not too much salt because I already cooked my meat with salt. I add the grounded crayfish, and I added the remaining 2 stock cubes. Stir together, and I add my fish, the smoked dry fish, and my stockfish. Add to it. My stockfish I always boil in the microwave and put it into pots because that is faster for me. You can see the soup now. I'm going to add the meat to it. You see, it's cooked, so I just pour it inside my pot of banga soup. I stir it all together and it's cooking really good. Now I add my dry crayfish to it. The periwinkle will be the last to add to it because it doesn't have to stay long time in the fire. You see, my banga soup is almost ready. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Angela's Easy Cooking on Facebook too. Please like my page, follow us on Facebook. Help me build my page. I just added salt. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the comments, all the likes, all the love. Thank you. God bless you all. Now you can see I just added a little bit of pepper soup spice to it. You can see I added a little bit more. I just want that pepper soup spice, that flavor. You can see my soup is cooking really good, and you see foam on top like a ladder. So I'm going to cook it for at least maybe 10 to 15 minutes to get rid of that ladder. So when it's oily on top, then you know the soup is ready. But for now, I'm gonna close the lid and let it cook. You see my soup now. The oil is on top. No more foam ladder on top anymore. And it smells so nice. Looks good already. Tastes so yummy. So now I'm gonna add my periwinkle. This periwinkle, oh my god, it's just a little bit. It's not much because I could not find much. I have to travel more than 1 hour to get this periwinkle because I want to cook banga soup. Rotterdam to Amsterdam is a bit far, so I have to travel to Amsterdam to go and buy this. You can see my soup is toppy. When you cook your banga soup and you see a lot of oil on top, you can just use your spoon to scoop some oil out. That oil you can still use for another soup or something else. You see? It looks so good already, and I already off the stove. My banga soup is ready. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next.